How's everybody doing? Welcome back to my channel in a brand new video. So today I'm going to be reading through One Piece chapter 1067. And holy moly, the last chapter, absolutely incredible. So many things were revealed the last chapter that I could not comprehend. I could not understand. I understood, but I couldn't wrap my mind around it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was so much information. Where do I even begin? First of all, Dr. Vegapunk got a face reveal, a full face reveal. Looks to be inspired by Einstein as well as Isaac Newton. I know that now because of the references, the tongue picture, the apple on his head, whatever the heck. So that's cool. Dragon knows him from way back in the day. Okay, look here. The big thing is that the chapter was titled "The Will of Ohara," right? So we found out that after the Buster Call in Ohara, things survived. The books that the scholars threw out the windows into the lake, they survived. And why did they survive? Because the Marines took one look at them and they were like, probably not important. What the heck? So anyway, the book survived, which means that because those books survived, the scholars ended up winning. They won against the world government simply based on that. And what did we learn after that? Vegapunk was there. Vegapunk went to Ohara as well as Dragon because they wanted to see for themselves what had happened to the island. And while they were there, the big reveal here is that they weren't the only ones. The giants were already there, rescuing, taking the books out from the lake and, essentially preserving history, saving the history, the forbidden knowledge. So that was a massive reveal because, like I said, the giants have been very mysterious in the world of One Piece, and we really don't know too much about them. But with the truth reveal, with the reveal last week, now we know that the giants are in tune with the knowledge of way back in the day, the Void Century, the Ancient Kingdom. They know a lot. They know a lot, which means that after Egghead Island, the most logical next step has to be Elbaf. We are finally going to have to go to Elbaf, which means that when we go there, when we arrive there, that means that the entire library of Ohara is going to be waiting for us. That means the entirety, the entire truth, everything that Clover and the scholars learned, that's going to be available to us, to the Straw Hats, and that's just incredible to me. Holy moly. And not only that, speaking of giants, we found out that Saul, Jaguar D. Saul, we found out that he is alive. He is alive. I always had a suspicion. I always had a suspicion that he was alive, and we finally got confirmation last week in the chapter. Turns out, they were kind of vague with it, kind of trying to keep it a secret. Vegapunk was all like, the captain of the giant pirates was a strange one, wrapped from head to toe in bandages. And when I was reading that, I was so into the story that it didn't even cross my mind that he might have been referring to Saul. And when I went back to look at the panel, yeah, the silhouette, the shape, the shadow of the giant wrapped in head to toe with bandages, he had to look just like Saul, was wearing the same hat, all that stuff, right? So Saul is alive. He is in hiding, likely in Elbaf. I mean, where else would he go? Elbaf, of course. So that was a big reveal. And that also begs the question, what is Aokiji's true goal? Because he could have easily killed Saul, but the attack that he used to free Saul over was not the one that would have ended him. He probably, Saul eventually defrosted, was rescued, and man, there's just so much. Aokiji is up to something. As you know, he's part of the Blackbeard Pirates now. And I believe that Kobe is also with the Blackbeard Pirates now as a hostage. So I think him and Aokiji are gonna link up and then freaking like turn on the Blackbeard Pirates and reveal their true nature, their true goal, which is it's like everything is getting so exciting. And then what else? Dragon apparently had uh, a group called the Freedom Fighters. Back in the day, he didn't have the scar, or it's not a scar, it's a tattoo, right? Anyway, whatever the heck. He didn't have the design pattern on his face back in the day during the Ohara incident. So he had a group called the Freedom Fighters. Whatever happened to them, who knows? But after that, so we know that he wanted Vegapunk to join him and the group. Vegapunk didn't do it. And then soon after that, the revolutionaries were founded with Eva, Kuma, and wow, who the heck am I missing? Eva, Kuma, and Dragon. Is that it? Eva. Anyway, look, the revolutionaries were founded, right, by Dragon. So, yo, there was just so much knowledge. I could go on forever and ever and ever, but 1066, I think it was definitely candidate for chapter of the year, possibly chapter of the year. And this is with the reveal of the Gum Gum Fruit, Joy Boy, Nika, Sun God, Fifth Gear, all of that. And that's insane to say that a chapter could surpass that, because that chapter was incredible. But yeah, there's a lot to really dwell on, a lot of information here. And I just can't wait to see what 1067 is going to hold for us. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, let me go ahead and jump right into the reading. One Piece chapter 1067, Punk Records. Cover story is Germa 66, Cold-Blooded Voyage, Volume 24. I forget. Who are you again? Judge versus Caesar. A most curious head. What happened to your head? It used to be like a massive light bulb. It was getting a tad too long, so I cut it. We're not talking about hair here. Dang. Just like that, he cut it. As I recall, I was almost as tall as a giant when I met you. Yo, Vegapunk is huge! Holy moly. Yo, look at this panel. Look at how small Luffy is compared to Vegapunk. Dang. He didn't seem that tall back in the day with Dragon, and wow, that was really, that was definitely a deceptive image when we got him at the end of the chapter last week. Vegapunk is tall. Dang. Anyway, so, alright, so I was almost as tall as a giant when I met you. And then we get a kind of a picture of Vegapunk now and his real head, which, you know, goes way past the panel. Anyway, I heard rumors about it being big, but it was like an air balloon. Well, that's because I ate the brain fruit. Whoa, hold up. The brain fruit? Pardon me. I bit my tongue. I meant to say I'm a brainy human because I ate the brain fruit. It allows me to memorize an unlimited amount of knowledge and makes my brain grow in size accordingly. Having an unlimited data bank is a handy ability for a born genius like me. Dang, so that's okay. So Vegapunk has a devil fruit, brain fruit. Now, all this time I thought that Vegapunk was a genius naturally, like, you know, nothing else but pure smarts involved. I guess he is saying that, you know, he was born a genius, but the brain fruit definitely helped him go way beyond the limit of what a normal human could learn. So that's cool. I don't think that takes away any of his character. I could already see that some people might have a problem with that, but I don't think it's a cop-out or takes away from Vegapunk's character. So cool. So now we know that he has the brain fruit. Interesting. All right. This makes me wonder if at one point in the past, you know, Ancient Kingdom, Void Century, whatever the heck, maybe the leader of the ancient kingdom or someone high up had this power, and that's why they were kind of deemed a threat to the world government. Which at the same time, what if the ancient kingdom, we see them as the good guys, but what if they were actually the bad guys and the 20 kingdoms came together to take them down from turning the world into chaos or whatever the heck? That's interesting. That could be an interesting twist. Anyway, let's keep going with the reading. Now I have the largest brain in the world, and it continues to grow. Still? Did you put it somewhere? That's awesome. Have you got tons of medical knowledge too, Dr. Vegapunk? Naturally. Whoa. Does that mean you're dumb now, old guy, because you cut your brain out? Don't write off a genius like me, you rascal. Take a gander at the top of the island. Notice how it says Punk Records under the giant egg? That's the hangar where I keep my brain. What? Isn't that way too big? There's no harm in me being away from it since my antenna can pick up the brain waves. Dang, okay. Interesting. You met a little girl earlier who called herself Vegapunk, right? That's one of my clones. There are 6 on the island. You're a ninja? Each one is a face of myself and an expert of their own key field of study. You get my full personality if you combine them, but they can get 6 times the work done apart. What the? Each one of them connects to Punk Records once a day to synchronize our memories and knowledge. Since their dispositions and responsibilities are so different, the wealth of their experience is that much greater. And then we have an outline here, a chart of Atlas, Edison, Shaka, Lilith, Pythagoras, and York. Nice. Okay. Luffy has no idea what's going on, by the way. He's just like question mark. He's like, huh? You all share the same brain? I find it difficult to wrap my head around that. Okay. Just think of it as sharing the same library. If only I could let everyone in the world connect to my brain, all of humanity would have access to my knowledge. Then, if the population of the world went on to update Punk Records themselves, it'd create a sea of information that surpassed what my whole brain can accomplish alone. Humanity would share one mind. Imagine he said humanity would share one piece. Man, imagine that's what it is. Holy moly. Okay, but I'm starting to see some similarities here with what Vegapunk is saying. Okay, so I'd be able to study medicine from all over the world? Naturally. Okay. Dang, what kind of things are they going to learn here? And then Chopper's just all giddy. He's like, woo, freaking Ric Flair. All right. But if you let everyone share their conflicting ideologies, wouldn't all that bias lead to trouble? You sure are a sharp one, Knight of the Sea. But science would never progress if you spent all day worrying about stuff like that. And then his laugh, I guess, is peh, peh, peh. Interesting. Okay, okay. That's your problem, Vegapunk. You shrug off sacrifices in the name of progress. That's why my dad's been turned into a heartless weapon. Wow, stop it, Bonnie. That beam saber is defective. Give it a rest. I know it cuts well enough. I tested it earlier. Turn my dad back to normal. If you even think about saying no, don't be hasty, Bonnie. Killing him would make you a lot of enemies. Hit the off switch, Bonnie. That beam attracts a ludicrous number of bugs. Bugs? Okay. And then Bonnie's like, huh? Dang, yeah, he's not kidding. Yeah, he ain't kidding with that. Dang, Bonnie's freaking out. She don't like bugs, it seems. Okay. Check it out, Bonnie. A giant stag beetle. Yeah, Bonnie's just on the ground fainting. Like, she can't. She kind of reminds me of freaking Misty from Pokemon. She can't stand bug Pokemon. Looks like we found Bonnie's fear. I don't think she'd do well on the island that Usopp was on before the time skip. Anyway, moving on. Check it out, Bonnie. A giant stag beetle. This isn't the time for beetles. Look at her. She fainted. Ah, that makes perfect sense. Of course Bonnie wants me dead. It's ironic that one of my many failures saved me. Ironic that one of my many failures saved me. Okay. Speaking of which, you guys were recently in Wano, correct? You wouldn't happen to know whether a dragon just like Kaido really appeared there? Uh-huh, okay. Uh-huh, so now he's the devil fruit that Momonosuke ate. Okay, so he's asking, you wouldn't have to know whether a dragon just like Kaido appeared there, huh? So he wants to know what is gonna happen. Let's see. Oh, you're talking about Momo. I suppose he ate the defective devil fruit I left on Punk Hazard. Defective? What do you mean? That was an artificial devil fruit I synthesized. I made it after 20 years of researching Kaido's lineage factor. It cost countless resources. But I couldn't get it quite right. Oh, so that's why he's the same as Kaido. But it worked out just fine. He can still spit fire, and he's super strong. He's the guardian deity of Wano now. You really made that? Awesome. And his color? Pink. Drat, you see? Another monumental failure. Dang, he's really taking that hard, huh? What's wrong with that? I get it. He's a genius and a perfectionist. Okay. What about this robot? You made it too, right, old man? Make it move. I'm afraid you're mistaken. This is the legendary Iron Giant that attacked the Holy Land of Marijois about 200 years ago. 200 years ago? Yes, but it was built over 900 years ago. What? No way. Dang. Okay, so this is an Iron Giant. Shout out to Iron Giant, by the way. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. Great film. Okay, so this robot, legendary Iron Giant, attacked Marijois 200 years ago, but it was built over 900 years ago. Okay, let's keep moving on. Hopefully we get some lore. Its objective remains unknown. I heard it ran out of power before it could cause any casualties. Either way, I'm sure the scientists of the time were absolutely flabbergasted. Such advanced technology would have seemed totally alien to them. None of them could tell where it came from or what it was trying to do. And then we get a little snippet here of when the giant was attacking Marijois. So that's cool. Huh. So so it was attacking, but it ran out of power before any casualties were caused. But none of them could tell where it came from or what it was trying to do. So objective still unknown, as was mentioned. Interesting. Okay. So there's got to be more of them, right? This can't be the only one, right? There's got to be more of them in out there in the wild, circulation, whatever the heck. Okay, so let's move on. Next page. It seemed the world government ordered its destruction, but the scientists of the time couldn't help their curiosity. And then Jinbei's like, just listening quietly. That's why they hid it here to be passed down without the government's knowledge. Good job on finding good job on finding this place. So good job on finding this place. From the town, the entrance should look like a wall. We just stumbled here since we were all old and senile. Yeah, we're plain old lost. Oh, that's a shame. 200 years ago. That's around the time the fisherman rights movement started to gain ground. So that's around the time the fisherman rights movement started to gain ground. So you're saying that robot climbed the red line? Most likely. Okay. Okay, so now Robin, Frankie, Sanji, Usopp, and Vegapunk Shaka are kind of... So they're also looking at the robot on TV. So does that mean they can see Luffy and them right now, or is this just a still image? I don't know, but essentially the story is continuing, but we're getting a cut to Robin's group. So let me just reread that again. 200 years ago. That's around the time the fisherman rights movement started to gain ground. So you're saying that robot climbed the red line? Most likely. And then there's a note saying this might be a reference to chapter 620. So interesting. I wonder if Jinbei is gonna mention that, because he's with Luffy, Chopper, and the real Vegapunk right now, and obviously Jinbei is smart. He knows a lot more. He knows a lot than he lets on. So next page. I created Vegaforce 1 based on what I had learned from it, but I lacked the scientific prowess to reverse engineer every aspect of it. It's difficult to believe that this mechanized soldier was made over 900 years ago. And then Frankie is shocked. You couldn't, there's something even you couldn't recreate? Its power source. In the past, they had a power source that would upend our modern ideas of what's possible. Well, I really wonder what that is. Because this Vegapunk right here is mentioning the power source, and I believe that Vegapunk 02 mentioned that Egghead runs on fire, I believe. So that makes me wonder, did the Lunarians get killed off to, like, I don't know, like harvest or obtain their firepower and then power this island? Is that what was running the robots of the past? Lunarian fire? Wait, but like, hold on. So the robot climbed the red line. The Lunarians lived on top of the red line before the celestial dragons. So, okay, hold on. Let me just read on. Okay, so Vegapunk is saying its power source. They had a power source that would upend our modern ideas of what's possible. Well, at any rate, it's good to know Luffy and the others are okay. Who's that girl, though? Okay, so they are watching a live feed of the robot. So that it's not just a still image, it is a live feed, like a live stream. Nami's asking, who's that girl? That's Jewelry Bonnie. She's a pirate. I thought the one we saw before was a little girl. And the way Vegapunk's head works is crazy. I truly did a terrible thing to Bonnie. Yeah, you should get down and beg her to forgive you, old man. You young dolt, like you know anything about it. There's something I have to give her. Regardless, I feel like fate brought you here today, Straw Hat Luffy. Please, can you take me away from Egghead? Huh? Okay, so Vegapunk is asking Luffy, please, can you take me away from Egghead? And then Luffy's like, huh? Okay. And then, what the heck is this? Sea Beast? Mechanized Sea Beast? Oh crap, Cypher Pole. Okay, this is Cypher Pole. We're requesting entry to Egghead Port. What poorly trained pets? Okay. So CP0's in the picture. Reports indicate that Jewelry Bonnie was spotted making her way here too. That pest keeps slipping away from us. She served her purpose. Let's just terminate her on sight. Dang, this is a sick panel of CP0. Look at this. Rob Lucci, Hattori, Kaku, Stuzy, and then background characters, and then Seraphim Kuma. I love the face mask that they wear. I'm really interested to see how much Lucci has leveled up, because, people like to say that, Lucci lost to pre-time skip Luffy, but yes, but that was as close of a draw as you can get to. Luffy's fight with Katakuri, with Lucci, reminds me of his fight with Katakuri. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I wonder how much Lucci has leveled up. I like to assume that Lucci is far more developed than the members that were in Wano, because those guys got freaking taken out immediately. They were a disappointment, let's be honest. But maybe Lucci leveled up. I don't think he's going to be on par with Luffy, but I think he's going to be strong enough to possibly go head to head with like Robin or maybe Zoro or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Let me just see what the future has for us. But let's see. All right, so CP0's in the picture. Moving on. Shaka, there's a government ship. It'd be bad if they found us harboring pirates. What does CP0 want with us? And why did they bring Rob Lucci? I say we just hand this riffraff over. After all, that Lucci fellow is an assassin, right? What? Rob Lucci? Hey, hurry up and give us our legs back. No, that guy's still around? You can't let them in. Don't you worry, Robin. I'll protect you no matter how many times he comes back. Okay. Tell them to hand over the Seraphim and leave. We're declining their request to dock. Huh? I doubt agents of the world government will respond well to that, so prepare for battle. Kamabaka Kingdom, Grand Line. Dragon! Kuma's acting weird. Kuma, wait. We're trying to repair you. Kuma, what's wrong? Is he still being controlled by the Navy? Dang, that's a sick panel. Holy moly, what's going to happen with Kuma? And what's the deal with Bonnie? So she's important too. I mean, she is the daughter of Kuma, but what else? Just because of that, or is there more to it? I bet there's more to it. All right, next page. Kuma, where are you going? You're in no state to be moving like that. You're still not yourself. What's with him? Oh, what if his father instincts are kicking in and he's trying to go protect Bonnie? What's with him? I don't know. And then he's huffing and puffing. Kuma, come back. Talk to us, Kuma. Where do you want to go so bad? Stay with us. You're not done fighting. Stay with us. We're not done fighting. The Revolutionary Army is just getting started. A mad dash to where? And that's going to be the end of chapter 1067. Okay, so. Dang. There's a lot of mysteries happening here because Vegapunk, the way he's looking at Bonnie, he's all like, where's that panel? He's all like, there's something I have to give her. Regardless, I feel like fate. Fate brought us together. So the way Vegapunk is looking at Bonnie, he's kind of like the face he's making kind of communicates to me a sense of regret and a sort of like desire to protect Bonnie. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the expression that this right here communicates to me. That's how I interpret it. And then after that, Vegapunk is straight up telling Luffy, hey, can you take me away from Egghead? And as we saw in an earlier chapter, you know, Vegapunk said, you know, the downside of being a genius is that you can pretty much sense when your death is coming. So I think he knows that, he obviously knows that CP0 is here to kill him. And then, you know, CP0 is here at Egghead. And then CP0 is also saying, reports indicate that Jewelry Bonnie was spotted making her way here too. And then Lucci is like, that pest keeps slipping away from us. She served her purpose. Let's just terminate her on sight. So that, like I said, that makes me wonder. Are they after her simply because she's Kuma's daughter? Or has she done something behind the scenes that we haven't known, like we don't know yet? It is very possible that they could want to kill her simply because of her relationship to Kuma, you know, and the bloodline. So to speak. But what else could she have done? What did she do in her own time after the time skip, during the reverie, up until this point where she arrived at Egghead? What has she done? We don't know, but you know, that's a really interesting question. So now Vegapunk has no intention of letting CP0 in. They're just like, he's all like, you know, just hand over the Seraphim and leave. You know, we're declining them. And then, you know, but obviously he's saying, you know, it's not going to be that easy, so we're going to have to prepare for battle. So next chapter, it seems like it might be the start of the conflict that is going to be, like the main conflict that's going to be happening in this arc. And then we cut to Kamabaka Kingdom. And then Kuma is acting weird. He just gets up in the state that he's in, all battered and falling apart. And everybody's like, Kuma, where are you going? You're in no state to be moving. And everybody's like, what's with him? I don't know. Kuma, come back. And Kuma's just running, getting up, falling apart on his way to wherever he's going. And then Dragon is like, talk to us, Kuma. Where do you want to go so bad? Is it possible? No, here's what I'm saying. Like, the first thing I can think of is that Kuma, like here's the thing. Kuma is a slave to the world government, right? As far as we know, as far as our knowledge goes, Kuma was modified to be a heartless weapon with no memory or consciousness of his own. He has no sense that he was ever a human being. You know what I'm saying? Now, because of what Vegapunk did in the past to program one final mission to protect the Sunny until one of the Straw Hats members returned, ever since that was established, in my head, I'm like, alright, if Vegapunk can do that, who's to say he couldn't have programmed yet another mission in Kuma's brain chip that we don't know about, you know? Because that could very well be a possibility. Vegapunk could have programmed many more missions into Kuma's brain before he completely lost memory. Because he is a cyborg right now, but he had a mission programmed into him to freaking protect the Sunny. So what if after a certain time period, Vegapunk programmed Kuma to regain his consciousness in some way or form? You know what I'm saying? It could very well be a possibility. Also, what if, I don't know, like, is it crazy for me to think that his instincts of a dad are kicking in and somehow he just senses that Bonnie is in danger and he wants to go run to her? Because the way he's running right now, it's like, holy crap, it's like, dang. It's like his life depends on it. He's falling up, like, he's not in it, like, he's already broken down to begin with anyway. Like, half his body has gone, his freaking wires are all, like, falling, like, showing, exposed, falling apart, whatever the heck, right? So, he's broken, right? But yet, he's standing up and he's running, and he just looks like a desperate man right now. You know what I'm saying? And even though he's a cyborg, there is some personality in this face right here. There's some personality in the way that he got up and started running, the way he's clawing and basically dragging himself across the ground. There's like, I don't know, there's just, it seems too human to be, for Kuma right now to be a cyborg. That's what I'm trying to say. Is it a fake out? Could he simply be under the Navy's orders, and is he simply obeying CP0 at this point? Possibly. You know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I don't think I am. Vegapunk isn't completely good or bad. He does whatever the heck science tells him to, and whatever the heck is going to be beneficial to his knowledge. So he's on the border. He's not a face and he's not a heel. He's right in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And the way Vegapunk was talking this whole chapter, it's like he regrets certain things he's done. And then he was talking about Momo's fruit, and you know, he kind of threw a tantrum. You know, what color was it? Pink. Then he couldn't take it. But no, there's something more to this. And also interesting to note that this robot was built 900 years ago, but it attacked the Holy Land 200 years ago, according to what Vegapunk is saying. However, it lost power before anything happened, but the objective remains unknown. And then Vegapunk number 1 is all like, you know, I couldn't recreate its source power. In the past, they had a source power that would upend our modern ideas of what's possible. So now I'm wondering, was it like Lunarian DNA? Was it the flame of the Lunarians? Like, what the heck is going on? You know what I'm saying? Bonnie, though, she's gonna be. There's obviously more to Bonnie than meets the eye. And like I said when Bonnie first appeared in this arc, when you think about it, we have gotten arcs and full storylines involving every character of the worst generation, every supernova, except for Bonnie and Rouge. Those two characters are the only members of the worst generation that we have not gotten a dedicated arc that they've been the focus of. Everybody else has had their screen time, and we know about them. You know, Drake, Law, Kid, Killer, Apu, Hawkins, Blackbeard, and then Luffy and Zoro, of course, are the main characters. Speaking of Kid, though, we don't really know much about Kid's backstory, do we? Oh, okay, hold up. Speaking of Kid, yeah, we don't know much of his backstory, but we do know that him and Killer are looking for the man marked by flames. And this has to be Saul. Like, at this point, it's a given that it's the giant, Saul. He is also a member of the D family, and he also said that everyone in his family carries the initial D. So, Saul is obviously making, like, he's, ever since last chapter, he is becoming a more and more an important character, more than he already was in terms of giving Robin a backstory and character development. Saul is now becoming a key figure in the One Piece world, and when we meet him, we're just going to get so much information. So, he is obviously the man marked by flames. He survived the Ohara incident. He was frozen. And then he has burns from the fire and the frostbite, the ice, whatever the heck. So, the point is, Saul survived the Ohara incident. Buster call, flames everywhere. He survived that. Wrapped from head to toe in bandages. That's something that you would see with burn victims. So, Saul is obviously, in a literal sense, marked by flames, marked by fire. So Kid at the end of Wano said, we gotta seek out the man marked by flames. And then Luffy was like, huh? Like, who the heck are you talking about? And then Kid was like, oh, you don't know? Dang, that means we have an advantage over you. And then he just laughed and just bailed, right? Saul has got to be the man marked by flames because he survived Ohara. He has all this knowledge of the library, of the scholars. And Elbaf has got to be the destination where the last road poneglyph is, the red one. Not to mention, I think in Elbaf, we are going to get backstory on Kid, because if you remember back in the day, his original goal was to frickin' target Shanks. You know, when news was spread that Luffy and Law had defeated Doflamingo, they were like, so they're targeting one of the emperors, Kaido. And they were all like, that's good to know because we won't have to waste our military power on them because we also have a target of the 4 emperors, Red Hair Shanks. And then we know that his arm got cut off and they had an incident. So if Kid knows who the man marked by flames is, to me that implies that they have been to Elbaf. Kid and his crew have been to Elbaf. They met with Saul, or at least learned about him in Elbaf. And maybe while there, they ran into Shanks, and he was conducting his business for whatever reason. Maybe there they ran into Shanks, and then there was a fight, and then his arm got cut off, and then he retreated. And then that was that, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to think that could be a very real possibility. Maybe when we go to Elbaf, we are going to get Kid, Shanks, and the Straw Hats. Some type of interaction, as well as Saul and all the giant pirates, maybe even Loki. Or maybe his story ends... No, he's the prince of Elbaf, right? Loki was the prince. Was going to marry Lola, and then it didn't happen, so... Loki, there's got to be more to Loki, right? Anyway, there's so many things that could be a possibility here. So many. So many things. And it's just exciting. Interesting. And when is Rouge going to come into the story? Because like I said, he's one of the only supernovas that he hasn't gotten screen time. We know he was on the Sky Island after he got defeated by Cracker. He went to the sky, witnessed Kaido try to commit suicide, kill himself, and then that's it. That's the last time we've seen of him. Rouge is going to come in at one point. And I think the closer we get to answers on the Void Century and maybe stuff related to outer space, the sky, the moon, whatever the heck, maybe in that scenario, Rouge will show up and maybe even Enel will make an appearance again. But dang, so many things are going on in One Piece. But I'm really interested to see what Kuma and this robot is all about. Everything is like... It's so good. It's so good. And now we have a break next week, so now we gotta wait 2 weeks for the next chapter. Yeah, dang. Every chapter is so good. Anyway, that's gonna do it for our reading of One Piece chapter 1067. I hope y'all enjoyed. Let me know what y'all thought about this chapter. Great chapter. Amazing arc so far, and it looks like the beginning of the end of this arc is going to start with the next chapter, because like I said, I don't think we're going to spend too much time here in Egghead. I think it's just a transitional arc, a very good one at that, but you know, a transitional arc to gain knowledge, set a set the stepping stones that will propel us into the next arc, which at this point is likely. I would be amazed if it's anything but Elbaf. Amazing arc, great chapter, Hall of Fame stretch of chapters so far the last couple weeks, ever since Egghead started. Incredible. But like I said, that's going to do it for my reading, One Piece chapter 1067. Hope y'all enjoyed. And other than that, I hope you guys have a good night. Stay safe out there. Take care. And I will see you in the next video.